Here we go. I'm a bit late, sorry about that. No one's here, can I quit? Maybe I don't need to do one today. Hola! Dominican time. Train spotting music. Have you seen that movie? Kato hahti. Onko se kasaamassa autoon, niin pitää saada vinkkejä. Setting up the Dremel. We're obviously gonna need this at some point. Okay, I think we can begin. We got some people. Great song, now I can turn it off. Actually, give me a minute. Okay, so today we're gonna do the rear end. Check the manual, and it says we're halfway there. I'm happy about that. We're almost done with this. Well, we'll be halfway there once I've finished these steps. Okay. So we've finished the front. If you still remember, it's all good. Now it's time to tackle the rear gearbox. What's up, chopstick? I have no idea where that's from. Ciao. We have some Italians in the house. Okay, so bearings go in the gearbox. This is one mistake people make, and then again they complain and call me names. Because this bearing on the inside is really tight, and it's supposed to be really tight, so you don't strip the gears. So people don't put it all the way in, and then they say the mesh is terrible and this and that, and it sucks. So what I do is I put the pinion in, and then I take any old tool, place it on the pinion, and then I take my grandfather's pliers, and I just tap it to make sure that the bearing is seated all the way. Yeah, it is. It's all the way in. Yep. Then we need to put the outdrive on. And if you watched when I did the front gearbox, you'll know that our grub screws suck. So our grub screws at the moment aren't flat. There's like this sharp edge, so I Dremel that off. And the reason I do that is because then there's more surface area. And if you don't do that, it might wear out, so you might Loctite the screw in and tighten it all the way, but then it wears out, and yes, it doesn't turn, the outdrive doesn't turn around the axle, but it could come off. That's terrible. So I Dremel this flat. I put it on the electric screwdriver, easier. I did the same thing as last time, but this is how dumb I am. Last time I did the same thing. Flat. See that? Flat surface. Where's your billboard girlfriend? I left her at the store. She works there. Loctite. Don't forget the Loctite. Apply a liberal amount of Loctite. Oh, this is something I do, and this is how professional I am. I don't even know really if you need to do this anymore. I can't remember, but I'm not going to check right now. I'm just going to tell you anyway, because there's still old parts in circulation. So before this, the axle on the diff pinion was a bit too long. So what would happen was the dog bone would hit the axle and kind of push on it. And eventually there would be play here between the outdrive and the axle, but it would still be Loctited on and you couldn't figure out what was going on. And that was because the dog bone was hitting the axle. Now this has been fixed. The axle has been shortened. But since there might still be old parts in circulation, this is what you can do. So you take 3 diff shims, which fit perfectly on here. And then you put the outdrive on. So this eliminates that problem. Not a big deal, but it's something that happened in the past. And again, you want to be sure not to push the outdrive on too hard. You don't want to, squish the bearings, but also you don't want to leave play. So just put it on so it's free. You have a fly on your face by your nose. I wish it was a fly. And I wish this wasn't my nose, but it is. Okay, then if you remember, you really have to make sure this is tight. So again, grandfather pliers, protect your sensitive hands, and remember to make a face. One more time. I can't believe it's not stripping. These MIP tools are really good. Wow. Bobby Moore, Afro engineering at its best. Is that a racialist comment, Bobby? Perfect, perfect. Man, it's getting warm here now that I was doing all that physical labor, manual labor. Okay, so then we need our diff, which we did before. We have one of these bearing inserts here, or whatever this is called, I can't remember. For you, yes, thanks Bobby. Okay, and actually, what does the manual, let's see what the manual says. Maybe we can find some mistakes today. So far so good. There is a thread lock sign here, that's good. So we want to put thread lock on the outdrive, we did that. We want to, yes, everything's good so far. So now the diff insert, which I can't even get on now. It's really embarrassing. Some people ream this out, I don't, I just push it on, so I'm so tough. We made the outdrives bigger, that's why it's hard to fit on now. It says shoot yourself in the face. We're in the manual. So yeah, it's a new manual. The Black Edition manual. Yes, I mean the same body that fits the nitro fits the electric. So it's the same body. Same body. So I put some of this Eureka discontinued grease on the gears. You see that? Then we put the diff in. Ooh. Woohoo! That's gonna be so good. Your hero is watching. Who's my hero? Hey Cockman, who's my hero? Bobby Moore Black Edition, is that racists? This dude can't even spell. I'm not surprised. Have you seen him? Okay. Checking the manual. We use 0 inserts in both arm holders. But since I know where I'm gonna go run and I know I prefer more anti-squat, I'm gonna put number 1 with the hole up in the anti-squat plate and the 0 in the toe plate. Doesn't sound smooth. That's because we don't use shims. So you just assemble this and the mesh is a bit tight. You run the car a couple of times and it's perfect. That's how we made this. Sounds pretty rough, brah. Yeah, but I finish races. I don't strip gears, dude. And I don't shim them. So it's gonna be fine. Don't worry. Why have you decided to use short hinge pin holder with long arms instead of short arms and long hinge pin holder? I think that the short hinge pin holder and long arm is the most consistent in all conditions. Easiest to drive, lands the best, most traction. That's why. Start using Mobile One grease. It's red. You can get a whole canister at an auto store like $6. Lasts you a long time. Good point. Good tip. That's a good tip. Okay, where was I? So the inserts. Yeah, so 0's in the toe plate, 1's in the anti-squat plate. That's what I'm gonna do. Manual says 0's in all, but I know better than the manual. Bobby Moore again with the internet bravado. I can't wait to see you again. It's gonna be fun. You know, trying to say he's gonna beat me up again, I'm sure. Just like he was saying on their podcast. Bobby and I are actually friends. He just doesn't know it. Right, Bobby? You tried to say I was banned from his races. That's not true. So we put the inserts in. Next we need the arms. Man, there's a lot of people watching again. A lot of people in RC with no lives. I feel right at home. Okay, then you can kind of tell now that our mold's getting old. Kind of need readjusting here. You can see some flash. Is it flash or flashing here by the holes? So I just Dremel this away. You can cut it, but I don't have any sharp knives. So just like that, you see? Just to make the surface smooth. So there's nothing rubbing. You see how it's shitty right there? Terrible quality. There we go. Yeah, Liam says I'm not allowed to have sharp knives. That's true. All sharp objects have been confiscated. Someone's trying to get me to end this by saying e-buggy. It's not gonna work. Terrible quality. Hey Joe, let me know when you make your own car and start your own company and achieve the same results? Let me know. Why are you watching anyway? Just curious. So, droop screws. Droop screws in the arm. Hinge pins. Actually, I said this about the hex pins. I don't think I did about the hinge pins. So, the updated hinge pins, which have been around already all year, are dark gray on the ends. And the previous ones were silver. So the previous ones were soft, so they bend easy. These ones don't bend. And yeah, that's it. I don't know what I was gonna say. So then we assemble the arms and the arm holders onto the gearbox. And we have these long gearbox screws go all the way through the gearbox. So I'm just going to put these through here. And then if you can remember from when we did the front gearbox, this was one of the issues that people always complained about. JQ, you suck, your car's terrible, you're a shit designer, these nuts don't stay in, blah blah blah. I hate this car and I hate everything about JQ. Well, you know what? It actually says in the... let me check. Yep, it does say so in the manual. Use some glue and glue the nuts in. Then they're going to stay there. And you won't have to complain. You'll be a happier person. So put some glue here. Take the nut, put the nut there. And it's going to stay there. You're not going to have to complain to me. You're going to have a fight with your wife. And your life's just going to be so much easier. So just add some more glue. Make sure these stain. Nice. What's Liam saying? Kato Järmalainen. And we even added an extra piece of paper stating it a second time. Yeah, we did. I forgot about that. When are you coming back to SoCal? Everyone misses you. Everyone! Like who? Who misses me? Bobby isn't even in California. I'll be in California early November. I'm missing a lot of comments. I'm sorry. Someone's surprised that Liam can read. Glue, Dremel and shim the JQ way. We're building a race car here, Bobby. You wouldn't understand these kind of things. You can just build it, but you know, I want to make this thing perfect. Hurry up, Bish. Look, the arms are actually free. So there we go. Arms are on the gearbox now. Now these long screws up here. Nice. Come to Santa Barbara for the Notch series in December. Yeah, I'll be there. Maybe. What day in December? What's next? Need to check the manual so I do this right. On this page it says this is page 10. I wonder if that's relevant information. Okay, where's the wing mount? We're on bag G-spot. Captain Kyosho is watching. Who's Captain Kyosho? T-Bar watching? Wing mount time. So these are the stock plastic, whatever the hell these are called, for the wing mount. I don't use these. Low mounts. I like the high ones. So these, don't need these. I have some option parts. JQB 197 and 198 high wing mounts. I'm gonna use these. This car is for Degani, and we need to make sure everything's right here. We need to give him all the good stuff, otherwise he'll complain. Good morning, Steve. So this is a pretty simple step, straightforward. Not much can go wrong here. Why can't Degani build his own car? Have you seen Degani? I don't know. He probably could, but he's just lazy. I'll just go over there and stay at his house and for free and eat his food and drink his Gatorades. He's gonna pay for this. Eventually he'll pay for this. What are all these screws for? I'm confused myself now. Check the manual. I'm probably using the wrong screws. We really need a Hot Buddies one-piece wing mount, right? That's gonna make the difference. Missed the banter. Bradley Baird, another traitor who left, thought he was gonna become world champion with some other brand. Never found the magic he had with the JQ. Can't say I'm surprised. So when are you coming back? So using that high wing mounts here, I recommend you get this upgrade. You wouldn't think it makes a big difference, but actually raising the wing just makes the car so much more stable. You can actually notice it. Incredible. What's going on? Put it in the kit then. No, why should I? Run the stock stuff. Everyone isn't a professional like me. I need a drink. What do you plan for next season about car, races, traveling? Let's talk about that tomorrow in my longer Q&A. That's too big of a question to answer here while I'm building. Trying to focus. No comment. Bradley Baird says no comment. I asked him when he was gonna return to JQ. I'll take that as a next year. By the time this car is built, it will be discontinued. What do you mean? I'm gonna be halfway there tonight. So wing mount's already done. see what the manual says. Okay. Wing mount, blah blah blah. Everything looks pretty straightforward. So we have the shock tower, wing mount. Now we need to attach these somehow. Wrong way, this way. We should have some screws here somewhere. Oh, those must be the screws that I just used. I put some longer screws here intentionally because I know the gun crashes a lot. So just to make sure it's stronger. So hi JQ. Have the grey and black edition the same gear? You mean the gearing, I guess. Yes, the gearing is the same, except the main gear. On the E-car it's a 48, and on the Nitro it's a 49. But the diff gears are the same. So it comes with 45-14 in the gearboxes. Both cars come that way. This is taking longer than my LV build. Well, I'm sorry, David. I'm sorry I'm not faster. Why you don't put more parts of the car on carbon fiber? I don't know. Good question. I don't know. I'm actually making some carbon fiber options now. I'm gonna have a radio tray and rear tower, servo saver top plate, some stuff in carbon, well, and arm braces and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. We've always just made them in aluminium, stronger, doesn't break. What's up, Ronny Arnesen? When are you getting back into racing? It's been a while. Are you sponsored by that drink company you seem to have an endless supply of it? No, I'm not. I should be. I should be though. Every time I do a Facebook Live, I just feel like I need to have one, just to put up with this. Okay, now we get to one step that I actually need to say something important. So the long screws that you put in here in the wing mount, don't over tighten them. It even says so in the manual. Why is this so hard? I don't get it. It states here. Where are we? The advice, it says, and there's an arrow. Can you see that? Pretty simple. It says do not over tighten. Tighten until the end of the screw is flush with the nut. Okay, let's figure this out. So the end of the screw is flush with that nut there. Don't over tighten it. You can just keep, if you use an electric screwdriver, you can just keep on tightening until the screw comes through the plastic. Why would you do that? Just pay attention to what you're doing, people. Like, don't be all like this and then, you know, you don't know what's going on. Just keep on tightening. Oh, there we go. Flush. See that? Screw is right there. It's flush. It's done. No need to go further. Same on the other side. Done. Okay, looking good. What do you think? Where did Bobby Moore go? No smart comments anymore. I think he ran out. Ran out of comments. You're so rude, Mr. Pro. Are you talking to me? Who was I rude to? Yeah, Ronnie, good to see you. You should get back into racing. I would make more comments, but I'm afraid I'll hurt your feelings again, says Joe Bornhorst. When did you hurt my feelings? I must have missed that. Body post. Okay, so now we need to attach the sway bar. We've already gone through this on another episode of this build. Do I really have to explain it again? On the rear we have a 2.5. I was position 15 at the European Champs in Guarda 2010. You remember? I don't race since. Wish you the best. Yes, I remember your name. Actually, if it wasn't you, then someone with the same name used to race before I started. Euros A mains and stuff. You should really make a video about how to cut a body like your idol did. Well, like I said last time, why would you make a video about that? You just take some scissors, cut it out, done. It's easy. Should I watch the video? Is there like some big secret that I'm missing? Maybe there is. Maybe there is. You should learn from the Drake about making videos. Jeez, tough crowd here. Sway bar, look. Hold it up. Tighten the screw all the way so it stays up. Then you loosen the screw until the sway bar falls. Oh, there we go, it's free. Same on the other side. What did you run before you came up with JQ? I ran for Hobao. Well, actually, first I started with Kyosho. I bought a Kyosho. I had an MP5, which I bought second-hand. I made it into an MP6. So I ran that for a few years. Then I got sponsored by Hobao, and I ran Hobao until I started making my own car. But as I was making my own car, I kind of wasted two or 3 years there, because I tried working with some other companies, it didn't work out, and then finally I did it on my own. And during that time I ran a whole bunch of different cars, most notably X-Ray. They sponsored me for a while, and I did 2008 Worlds with X-Ray in Charlotte. I just missed the main. I think, did 10 drivers make the main or 12? And I was like two spots out, I think. So whatever that, I don't know. Whatever that means. Somewhere in the top 15, that's where I ended up. But not in the main. Okay, so the rear sway bar is a bit different to the front, because we have to set the sway bar sideways. So we have these two sway bar holders, sway bar stoppers, and the reason for these is that on the other side of the gearbox there's this groove. You see this groove? And because the groove is there, the sway bar can actually slide to one side. So that's on me, folks. Idiot designer didn't notice that. Finished the gearbox and it's asymmetrical, so the sway bar is in the middle in the beginning, and then on some tracks the sway bar will slide to the side, and that's not good. So looking from above, you just want to set the sway bar so it's in the middle. You can look at where the sway bar clears this groove. So match it left to right. You can look at the bend here also on the gearbox where the sway bar bends. So center it as well as you can, and then you take the holder on one side and attach it right by the gearbox, and then on the other side. And you want to leave a bit of room for the sway bar to move. So don't tighten them too close. It's a bit too much. Okay, so you want the sway bar to move sideways a bit and also front to back, but not too much. Just a bit of play so it's still completely free, but it can't just flop around. Okay, so now that it's good, I'm just going to tighten these holders down really hard so they stay on and don't move. And we're done. And now we need the links and the balls. Once again, the trusty grandfather pliers. That's something I'd like to see from many of the 8-scale manufacturers. What's that? I must have missed a comment here. There's some discussion going on here, but I've missed the beginning of it. Let's see, am I doing everything right here? So far so good. Whoops, whoops, whoops. So on the rear, this is the direction you want to fit the balls. You see that? That's forward. There is a picture in the manual, but I've noticed people put these on the wrong way too. But this is the way you want to do it. What's going on? Talking about 10 scale again. We don't need to talk about 10 scale. Come on. Come on, people. Yep, still waiting on 10 scales. Me too. I'm still waiting. So I dropped one of the grub screws, of course, somewhere. It's gone. Luckily I have more. So there we go. Sway bar is on, the holders are set, there's a bit of play sideways, front to back. These long screws, I didn't over tighten them, they're just tightened flush to the nut there on the gearbox. Arms are free. Has Max still not sorted those screws out? No, he hasn't. Bastard. He flipped my screw box over like 2 years ago and hasn't sorted them out since. No Loctite on the sway bar. No, you don't need Loctite on the sway bar. Maybe if you're weak, you put some Loctite. But if you're strong like me, You just tighten the screw and it's good to go. What's next? Hubs. Here it says you're halfway there. We're almost halfway there. I can't believe it. Where's the hubs? Where's the hub? I'm gonna have to do turnbuckles today again. Are you gonna sit there and take the roast, Joe? Which Joe? He's roasting me. Look, you see? See what it says there? Not Loctite. It says no Loctite. Not Loctite. Okay? It's good. I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna add some Loctite to the grub screw. And I'm not gonna explain all this shimming business. If you want to check the shimming out, then watch the previous video where I explain how genius the system is and the shims and all this and that and blah blah blah. Get rid of all the play and wheel wobbling, what to do. Just watch the previous video. I'm tired, I don't want to go through that again. Okay? Deal? Joe Bornhorst says, I can't say anything mean or he gets all sad. Thanks, Joe. You're a good pal. Jared Wiggins says, he's a liberal. It happens. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a liberal. Just a human being, man. Just care about people, everyone. So you should do too. Okay, and we're gonna put the rear hub inserts in. So we got these inserts here, about 500,000 of them. And the idea is that we can set the, how can I show you this? See here. We can set the height of the hole for the hinge pin, and we can also add toe in. So we have straight ones, which are obviously 0 toe in the hub, then we have 0.5 degree and 1 degree. Since this is for Degani and he's getting kind of old, I'm going to put the 1 degree ones in. Now seriously, actually on many tracks we've found that the 1 degree works really well. And did you see that? Did you see that? This is the level of professionalism on this show. So there's, look how many inserts there are there. Can you see how many there are? And I literally went like this. Oh, no, now I lost you. I lost you people. I literally went like this, picked up 2 inserts, and they are the right ones. Amazing. That's amazing. So I'm gonna use the long arm, so the outside hole. So when you want to add toe in, you need to make sure that the plus is on the inside. So there's a plus sign and it needs to be towards the inside. That means you're adding toe in. So I'm using the one where the hole is all the way up. There's a number 1 on it and the plus is to the inside. That's basically the maximum traction setup you can have. Okay, now we need some hinge pins and some shims. Now there's more room to move the hub forwards or backwards than we actually need, and that's because when we designed the arms we didn't really know where we wanted the hub to be, but now we do, so that we almost always run it with one shim in front and 3 behind the hub. And then on some tracks, like really high grip or really bumpy tracks, we'll move it 1 back. So 2 in the front, 2 in the back. but I'm going to build it now to the standard setup. So 1 shim in front, 3 in the back. I can't believe that I'm about to say this, but that's actually a cool design. See, that's what Joe Bornhorst just said. See the level of respect here between us peers, us professional drivers that understand what's going on. Even he can appreciate great design when he sees it. Thanks, Joe. So again, the drive shafts now are the same front and back. So 90.5 is the length. It's the long ones. The white edition had shorter ones in the rear. Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. A lot of nuts were found when designing this car, I can tell you that. Why don't you have a truggy? I don't have a truggy because pretty much the only place you run truggy is America. A bit in Australia, I think. But yeah, I mean, if I was an American, if this was an American company, then I'd most likely have a truggy. Or truck. Are they supposed to be called trucks now? But I'm not an American company, so I don't have one. It's not a priority. Maybe I'll have one day, but I don't see a need to make one now. I would rather make a 10 scale than a truck. So when the day comes that I have an 8 scale buggy, 10 scale 4-wheel, 10 scale 2-wheel, then you can start questioning me about truck, okay? Until then, don't even bother asking. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So as you can see here, 1 shim in the front there, 3 in the back. That's the standard setup. That's gonna give you the most traction. That's the most traction on pretty much all tracks. On very high grip, on bumpy tracks, you might want to try moving the hub just 1 step back. You should make an e-truggy for sure. Now that has got to be the dumbest class I've ever seen, really. I mean, truck is pretty bad. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty bad. But e-truck, e-buggy, that's a whole different level of ridiculousness. I really don't understand people who like to run e-truck. Do you find any difference in feel between adjusting inboard and outboard tow? Does adding tow from the hub, for example, feel any less noticeable than adjusting it inboard? Yes, there is a difference, but to be honest, I can't give you a real straight answer. I mean, it affects how the car goes through the bumps, how the traction is on and off power. But I feel like you can run more overall tow in by having tow in on the inside and outside and get away with it when you add some on both. If you just add more tow in on the inside, there comes a point where the rear end is just going to be stuck and you don't have enough steering anymore, and then you'll lose all of the grip suddenly and it just doesn't feel good anymore. Then you go less tow in, oh, now it's good again. But when you are at that point, you can still add tow in if you add it in the hub instead. And then you'll just have more forward bite, you'll still have steering, so you'll just have more traction, more forward traction, more side bite, and you'll still have steering. So I don't know. I honestly, I can't give you a better answer than that. It's just something you should try. And obviously I need to go back to back and test and really learn and understand what it does. E-Truggy is actually probably the most fun class to drive ever, says Joe Bornhorst. Credibility out the window. Look, my glasses are all crooked. Credibility out the window, and he just said that I had a good design. I don't know how to deal with this setback. Fernando Almeida is writing in Portuguese here. Assim desaperta o parafuso veio do cubo do lado esquerdo, se entrar da frente para trás não desaperta. I understood zero. Absolutely nothing. I have no idea what this guy's talking about. Axle sweep changes with onboard tow. Outboard, I guess. Yes, it does. There we go. Back to live comments, hopefully. Okay, so we have the hubs on, looking good. Turnbuckles, I guess, right? Oh no. Oh, I forgot to mention this. So you got two holes here for the arms. So we run long arm or short arm. Nowadays we only run that long arm. That's it. Don't even run the short arm. On some tracks you can go short. So okay, you run short arm. You put the insert in the inner hole on the hub, and you might feel that it's great. Then you go to a different track and it won't be so great anymore, because there comes a point at which you just exceed the limits of what the short arm can do. And with the long arm, it just works in a wider variety of situations and tracks and conditions. And we've found that you can run the long arm on every track and you'll always get a good setup. So we strongly recommend you run long arm. So that's the outside hole on the hub and the outside hole on the arm. And it's always going to be good. Yeah, Joe, we already covered the flashing. We already busted out the Dremel. These molds they're pretty old, you know. We've been selling kits. We've been selling arms. Bring in your Chinese or Indonesian 6-year-old for the turnbuckles. We don't support child labor. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do this right now. And if you remember from the last video, I said it makes sense to check this line on the turnbuckle and just assemble them all the same way. So then when you're at the track, it's really easy to adjust camber. And the way I do it is, I always put it to the right side of the car. So if I'm facing the front end, it's going to be on the left, but you know how it is on the car, left and right. So on the rear, facing the rear, I'll put the line on the right, and then when I turn the turnbuckle back, I add camber. That's how I've always done it. And I don't have to think at the track, I don't have to look at the threads, I don't need to figure out how to adjust camber. I can just do it because I know I built the car and this is how I build them. Those arms are like damn strobe lights. Joe, I think it's time to take your medication. Jeez. So on the rear we have one straight and one curved link. You want to put the curved link to the outside. That's so it clears the wheel. Joe Bornhorst, if we can keep this build going long enough, Joe Bornhorst might not have time to wrench on his cars before his next race. That's basically what he's saying right now. We have more Portuguese from Fernando. Onde posso comprar un carro? Ya entendes? No, I don't understand what the hell you're saying. Speak English or die. What are you saying? Fernando, I know you can speak English. I know it. Some guy comes on and just says, Mugen, sunglass emoji, peace sign emoji. Typical Mugen driver. So cocky and arrogant. Someone mentioned 2 holes in the arm for the sway bar. Yeah, you know what? We've got 2. I can't even tell you what the hell that does. I mean, yes, it's stiffer and softer, but on the track, I don't know. We just run the inside because the sway bars are kind of short, so they don't really reach all the way out. So we run the inside. Another thing that really needs to be investigated. There were 2 because we wanted to try it. We wanted to find where the best location is for the sway bar. And obviously we still, to this day, haven't done that. So rear link, I'm going to put it inside middle hole. So building the maximum traction setup here for Mr. Degani. If someone is translating, so Fernando is wondering where he can buy a car. Now Fernando seems to be a really good guy. He can buy a car in my web shop, JQRacing.com. He can buy a car from my Spanish distributor, Hobby Royale. He can buy a car from Germany, RC Fox. They have a web shop in Germany. He can buy a car from Amen Hobbies. He can just send me a Facebook message if he can't work a web shop. He can tell me in Portuguese if he wants. He wants to buy a car. I'm going to put that message in Google Translate. I'm going to figure out what he's asking. And I'm going to sell him a car. So, whatever. There's many options. Hub, middle, lower. That's where I'm going to put this for Degani. What about dirt guards for the rear arms? Don't you use them at all? Why? I think dirt guards are overrated. I mean, they look cool. Sometimes I use them. But they don't really do anything. Has 1.8 gotten any better since Hyper 7? Yes. Yes, it has. Yeah, someone else is translating. Yes. Just translate to Fernando that he can buy a car. I explained it. Anyway, just message me. What's the downside of running the short arm on the rear? The short arm on the hub side, I feel the camber change goes all wonky. So let's say you have a long corner with long high grip corner. Well, at some point the camber is going to be so far positive on the rear tire that you're going to spin out, flip over, do something wonky. That's mainly what happens. Just the camber change kind of becomes the issue. It's not consistent going around the track anymore. If you drive slow, well, average pace, how can I say this? You might be fine, you might not feel it. Then you go all idiot boots on the car. Can't handle it, the car can't take it. So that's why with the long arm, you can just push the car more. It's more forgiving. The camber change isn't as crazy. So that's the downside. Dirt guards are shitty in the air. Can't say that I've noticed that. Guess I'm not a good enough driver. Just like some people say that cab forward bodies make the car turn more in hairpins. Because you know how in hairpins, how downforce is really important. Jeez. Anyway, just one turnbuckle to go. Asking for a Gamma Skidmore. This is like a Gamma tips and tricks. David says, I thought you were on a break until China. David, I am on a break. I'm building cars. I haven't been at the track since the Euros. This is my break. Building cars online, selling cars, doing office work. working hard, so then in November I can start going to the track again. That's right. Hi JQ, you create your car on RC, why not your bike in Supercross? Well, making your own, any idiot can make their own RC car. Look, I'm obviously an idiot. Just look and listen to what I say and how I act, and you can tell. And I did this. I designed a car, got the money, paid for it to be made. Here I am, I have my own car. Now to do that, I was able to do that with a relatively small amount of money. To do a dirt bike, no way. Like, first of all, I couldn't even design all that crap. It's way too complicated. And it costs way too much money to do. So it's just impossible. There's a multi-million-dollar companies that do that. RC, easy. One man with a dream. One man in his parents' basement in Finland. He can do it. You know? So even though you should dream big, just dream big but remain realistic. Okay? This is what I could do, so I did it. You should get you a set of techno shock pliers to help with those pillow balls. What pillow balls? What are you talking about? Don't have any pillow balls here. JQ, 24th best in the world. Yeah, on that stupid list. How does that list even work? Like, you don't go to a race, and because you didn't go to a race... so that's why you gain position in... Yeah, that's what David wrote too. So you don't go to a race, and you actually improve your rankings. How does that make any sort of sense? That makes no sense. So I'm like, I'm not going to go to this race because I'm going to suck. I'm going to stay home and I'm going to improve. And then some other race, I'm going to go here because it counts, but I know I can do well at this race. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. Surely there's a better way to do it. JQ and I are teaming up on trolling JQ. I challenge you to a trolling duel. You're going to go down, my friends. Now I'm missing comments again. Why is this? Why doesn't it move? Because I scrolled. These two guys think they can troll me. Come up with something original, fools. So there we go, look at this. Look at this beautiful car. David and Joe are just jealous because their cars aren't as cool as this. So stock setup. 1 shim in the front, 3 in the back. The only place we move the hub is either 1 step back from here to the middle or then back here. That's really all we do. Sway bar, inside hole here. Direction of the ball, you can see there. Forward. I glued those nuts in. Remember that. Now I do believe we're done. What else is there to do? Let's check the manual. Damn, you still on here? Yeah, I'm still on here. That's about it. Looks like we've covered this. We're halfway there. Next we're gonna go for the center diff mount, but that's really complicated. I can't deal with that right now. I'm gonna do the center diff mount and the steering next. Maybe tomorrow. Let's see how I feel. My money is on JQ in the troll contest. Thank you, thank you. Wow, you need a manual? Yeah, I do. Let's read something for David here. Let's find something for David. Avoid AstroTurf at all costs. Astro is the death of off-road. Hey, what is that electric Euros track? Is that dirt? Jakey, you have to put a little bit of grease on yours. That's a good... I don't have my WD here. Next video, we're going to try and get the squeaks out of this chair. I remember my first time building a car. These guys. This is for David and Joe. Never operate with a passenger. Passengers affect the balance of steering and increase risk of losing control. David and Joe are teaming up here, so I'm just warning them here. Also, never eat the parts. And especially for Joe here. Never operate at speeds too fast for your skills or for the conditions. So be careful, Joe. And for David, never operate without proper training or instruction. So David, make sure your father's with you, or Adrian, okay? Don't operate alone. You might get into trouble. Bedtime stories, yep. That's it. So I'm done with the front and rear ends. They're done. This video has been going on for way too long. David and Joe can't come up with anything clever to say. So I'm just going to give you 16 seconds to think of some good questions. I'll reply to them and then I'm off. Okay? Anyone? Do you get heavy wear on the rear hub against the spacer on the front of the hub? Yes, we actually have a... You can use... I don't have any here. You can use this M4 countersunk washer, which obviously lasts longer because it's aluminium, not aluminum, aluminium. Or then we have a spare part. I can't remember the number of it now, but it's a aluminium washer for there, so it lasts longer than the plastic one. Sandro says e-buggy, but there's another question I need to reply to. So how's the 100 club coming? Yes, it's coming along. We have 35 people in it or so. And actually there was a few month delay there when everything went to hell and I couldn't get the parts done. But now we finally have all the parts and we're shipping out all the stuff now. So then we'll be up to date. And then from now on, hopefully each month, I ship out new parts for the people. So right now, everything seems okay. Yeah, Joe remembers when he built his first car because it was like 2 weeks ago. That's right. Say e-buggy is the best class ever and I'll be nice. E-buggy is the death of RC. It's the worst class ever, except for e-truggy. Raising the wing makes it more stable. What does moving the wing forward or back do? You know what? Every time I try it, it's not a big difference. Like, moving it forward has actually, for me, been better. It feels more consistent. So up and forward is the most grip and most consistent for me. How much would we have to pay you not to come to America? Bobby, you don't have to worry about that because you don't have that kind of money. I'm sorry, Bobby. David, join us in Croatia. There is no ranking for you to drop out of in that class. Another awesome thing about e-buggy. No, sorry, David. I'm not. When is that race anyway? Isn't it soon? I'm on RC holiday, so can't do any races. Will you ever include the option parts that are recommended, like aluminium wing mounts, in the kit? No, I don't think so. I mean, if you think about it, we already include most the stuff. We have CNC C-hubs, steering knuckles, rear hubs. I mean, really? You want everything in the kit? We include the stuff that makes a big difference, and we really recommend that you run, I feel. And then stuff that you can do without, we don't include. So the only option parts that I strongly recommend that we don't include in the kit, but yes, you can run without them too, is this one. So the CNC servo saver top, we have this in black or in gold. I recommend you use this. And then the wing mounts that I spoke about. So these I always use. I recommend you use those, but as I said, everyone that gets the car isn't a racer, so why should they have to pay for those in a kit? Like, why should we make a kit more expensive just so that the racers can have everything in it? When a lot of people buy the car and they just bash or club race or whatever, and they don't really need that. They're not really going to notice the difference. But if you are serious about racing, that's funny. Every time I say that, I think it's fun. But if you really are, then it does make a difference, and then I think you should get the option parts. Leaving tomorrow. Good luck, David. Since I'm not there, hope you win. Not like it would make a difference. $50. Bobby, $50 for what? What are you talking about? Oh, for me not to go to America? Come on. +1mm axles. Yeah, the hexes. We do actually run those everywhere now. So the hexes, we have +1 hexes, wider hexes. We run those pretty much always, I think. Add some grip, stability. Those are good to have too. JQB 0194. James Hargreaves is saying to get the quick adjustment brake linkage. I'll show that when we build the linkage. I mean, that's just an upgrade which makes it easier to adjust the brakes. So you might like that. Yeah, exactly. Johan is saying that the center diff mount is also aluminium in the kit as standard. So that basically lasts the whole lifetime of the car. If you build it right, like we're going to do tomorrow, then you just build it one time, zero maintenance, nothing. You just leave it. It's good. Okay. We need to go so that Joe Bornhorst can go and wrench on his cars. Needs to do a full rebuild on his Technos. Probably all worn out from just one race. So he needs to rebuild those, and he wrote here that he can't do that because he has to follow that JQ live build. So that's it then. People want their cake and eat it too. That's how it is. Over and out. Can someone please end this? Where's Sandro? Dude, there's still 100 people watching. Amazing. E-buggy. There we go. I can't finish before someone says that. Okay, see you next time. Thanks a lot.